Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, David. I guess David's up first.
Yep. David?
We on? All right, then.
Right here, I got it. Sorry about that. There we go. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
David, go ahead.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Thank you.
Just wondering, does today follow the same sort of format that a Friday would in a normal week, or is it a little bit different for you?
This is an in-season Friday. It's exactly what we've done the last 4 weeks. So then obviously will be our Saturday schedule will be tomorrow, and then we'll actually have the our normal Saturday night team meeting structure. We'll have that Monday morning.
And we asked you yesterday about Leighton Vabder Esch, just asking follow up on that. How did he look coming out of that first cadet practice, and are you encouraged that he might be able to play on Monday night?
I'm definitely encouraged. Everything points forward. So he came out of yesterday's practice. He's obviously going through everything today. So all the arrows are pointing up right now.
Yeah, Mike, you talk to defensive lineman about rushing Kyler Murray. Is it a matter of keeping him contained? How do you tackle a quarterback like this who's a little different than others you face?
Definitely. Every week you have a rush. You have a rush plan. Kyler's is unique. You see the majority of his scrambles and his ability to come out of the pocket is up through the A and B gaps. And that's something that's it's a weekly plan. And he's extremely quick. I think just the fact that he leads the league in quarterback rushing yards, speaks volumes to the challenge that he presents to you when he decides to come out of the pocket.
Do you put a spy on him, or is that like something that people don't do anymore? Is that part of the linebacker's task as well?
There's different ways you play the game schematically, and that's all part of game planning and will unfold during the course of the game.
Mike, with a couple of the other injury guys coming back, where are Cheeto and Sean Lee in their recoveries, and do you expect could they be back into a practice form next week?
They're making a lot of progress. I know we'll meet on that Monday, just because coming off the Monday night game, we'll be in a short week. So if they do, it's obviously challenging when you do come off of an injury reserve or a long period away to do it on a short week and still think that they'll be available to play. So, but they're making progress. Everything looks good for both guys. The specific timetable will be addressed next week.
And with Tristan Hill being out and your depth at tackle is looking at Justin Hamilton a possibility to get called up here this week, just have numbers at that spot? Well,
I think like anything that we do, we have 70 players here, and I've always been a proponent of staying within. So. We'll make those decisions, when we need to. But that, Justin's doing a great job, and I've always favored, going with our own guys.
Mike, along those lines, how does Gallimore look? Is he progressing to the point where you feel like you can give him some little full-time snaps this week?
Absolutely, absolutely. Gallimore is more involved in the plan, without a doubt. I think he's really come on. There's some. Situations more special teams driven while he was inactive the 2 weeks. So, but yeah, he's definitely ready.
And Tyler at center, obviously another adjustment for him. How has he been able to look this week in practice to you?
Tyler's had a good week so far. I think like anything, just when you get into the lead chair, the opportunity to take all the snaps in practice is huge. Making all the initial declarations. Being in the lead chair in the meetings, where all the declaration questions mostly are pointed towards you. So I think he's had a nice week of preparation so far.
How does a 6-day requirement
required COVID-19 entry testing protocol impact the way you guys go about things, if at all? I'm wondering, coming up with a short week, do you need to, say, start testing some free agent kickers so that if anything happens on a Monday, you can ensure that you have a kicker the following Sunday? Are those conversations that are being had?
Definitely, without a doubt. I mean, it's all part of the acquisition process now. I mean, there's no way around it. So it's talked about, throughout the everyday grind of the personnel department. Will's always looking at players and having conversations. But yeah, how you bring a player aboard is that's kind of our norm for this year. So you hope it doesn't catch you. So that's why the extra practice squad numbers are so important. So, but yeah, that's part of the COVID challenge.
It's typically when you have a young rookie center, and now you're switching to the number 2 quarterback, that can put a lot of pressure on making sure the protections, or if you're getting the right protections before the snap. What's how much does Andy, as a veteran quarterback, take on in that regard, and what's kind of the process, the procedures to making sure that the offensive line is in the right protection before the snap and everyone's on the right page?
Well, the process and procedure won't change. You don't change your process and procedure based on who's the center, who's the quarterback. But it's like anything in the offensive game. Just the way that we've always trained is the league quarterback. He has the base cadence. So, and as far as who makes the initial declaration and who makes the second declaration, everybody does it a little differently. So, but how we do it won't change. I think the biggest challenge that you see during the times when you lose your starting quarterback, I think Andy and Tyler, their transition of how the ball is being snapped, the timing of it all, the cadence has been very clean because they have a lot of reps tied up throughout training camp and so far this season, because we have a center exchange period that we do every day at the beginning of the quarterback drills. Really, the challenge, as I stated, earlier in the week, is for the number 3, Ben DiNucci, because now he has to make sure his cadence is exactly the same as Andy's, as Andy did with Dak. So we had a couple yesterday that just wasn't as clean as you like. But those are things you're working on from day one. So as far as who's declaring and how we're declaring, that's always based on game plan. It's frankly the challenge is to make sure that the first, second, third center is in tune with the first, second, third quarterback, as far as the timing, rhythm of the cadence, because that's what keeps everything in sync up front, particularly with everybody getting off on the ball at the same time.
Mike, what do you remember about Cliff Kingsbury when you guys were together there in New Orleans for a little bit? And did you think then that, hey, this guy might be a coach one day?
Well, definitely, Cliff. Our time together in New Orleans, and really liked him as a college player coming out. Just always admired his toughness. I had a chance to see him play as a sophomore at Texas A&M, and just walked away from the game just so impressed. He was constantly under pressure, threw the ball, plus 50 times, and just hung in there and competed all the way to the end. So then having the opportunity to coach him there in New Orleans briefly, I just had a great mind for the position and obviously for the game of football. But no surprise at all that he's having the success that he's having as a coach. Because I was very, very impressed with Cliff at a young age.
Mike, you were talking earlier in the week about getting a quarterback up to speed. It was really more about doing that with Ben DiNucci than it was Andy. How has Ben handled this week? What extra sort of work has he done to get ready for this number 2 role?
Well, the most important thing is he's getting more live reps, and that's what every quarterback in this business needs. The reps of the backup quarterback and the third quarterback, there's such high value on each and every one, and And that's something that you have to coach the importance of it. So wherever you get that opportunity, you have to make sure you maximize it. And Ben's doing that. He's not only getting reps to prepare himself for the game plan against the Arizona Cardinals defense, but he's had to emulate Kyler, particularly in some of the drop back stuff, and so he's been he gets the majority of the reps of the look team too. So just the fact that you're getting live reps is a natural process that every backup goes through. But he's putting in the extra time and needed in the meetings. But his opportunity is right in front of him. So he's got to make sure he's ready.
We're good. That's it.
Good. Thank you.